This is an accelerator board from a Getaway high-speed 2, and ferreted out what was wrong with this thing. Is 4071, which is a CMOS quad OR gate, 2-input OR gate, had failed, and it was causing lanes 1 and 3 to not work. So you can see I've constructed quite a bit of scaffolding here to test this thing, and done some circuit analysis of the board itself. It's a pretty interesting board in that over here it's got, it's essentially an opto processor board combined with a driver board, and I assume they did that so that they could get the response time that they needed from the transistors that are driving the big coils that cause the ball to spin around the supercharger so fast. So part of the circuitry here detects when a switch was detected and sends it back to the switch matrix. I don't know what they use that for, because the rest of the circuitry here, once a switch or an opto, I guess, closure is detected, it'll drive the circuitry to drive the big tip 36s that drive the big magnet coils in the supercharger itself. There's a couple of things that have to happen. These enable signals have to be pulled to ground for this to work, and maybe that's what they do. Maybe they enable it only during gameplay. I don't have a Getaway here, so I can't really check that out. And then the other thing is there's some growth capability here. These signals labeled driver, if you ground any of those, it'll cause the coils to fire also. As far as I know, those are not used in the game. So let me get this phone up on a stand and we'll test this board. Okay, let's give this a shot. So I have the third lane connected right now, and enabled, and power going to it. So I'm gonna break the opto beam, and you could hear both the switch matrix report and the coil firing. All right, so now I'm gonna change the enable to enable 2. I'm going to move my opto over to enable 2, and those LEDs coming on and going off on the board, those represent whether or not the opto is open or closed. And of course, when there's no opto connected, then it sees the opto as closed. So let me get power over to coil 2. Okay, there you go. You can see that's operating correctly. Now let me get the enable to coil 1 and move my opto over to coil 1. Keys are wonderful things, but you have to deal with them when you're making these kind of dongles. So here's coil 1. And so you can see that's operating properly. Here's what you're seeing on the switch test display, or what I'm seeing. So you can see that go off while I break the beam and then back on again. So I am going to clean up the back of this board, label all these dongles that I've created. One of them goes to the switch matrix inputs for the cabinet, and the other one goes to the 12-volt power supply, yeah, right there. And so I can repeat this if I ever have to fix one of these boards again. Thank you so much.